The brown Gucci monogram, is it classic or is it ugly? I would find this a little bit like, it's a bit intense. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. If you love shopping and handbag videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, so all your help would be much appreciated. Today I wanted to talk about bags that I've had in my collection or have in my collection that are ugly. Do you have any bags that you think are ugly and you still love them? But I mean, the term ugly is, I guess, in the eye of the beholder. I've found that my definition of what I find ugly has definitely changed as I've gotten older and as I've kind of gone through different stages in my life. So when I was like 5 or younger than 5, I do remember being like 2 years old and having this really cute little nightgown. It was like a pastel green nightgown with a little fairy on it. I loved that nightgown so much. I just, oh. And then I also had this little dressing gown that was pink and fluffy, which I absolutely loved. I find that when you're, I don't know, maybe not all kids are like this, but I'm gonna say in general, a lot of kids love, you know, fun colors. They love little cartoons, you know, fluffy things that look friendly and, you know, pleasant. And I still find that as a 31-year-old woman, I try and remember the time when I was little and remember what things I did like. Try and see fashion through my younger eyes, because I feel like as time has gone by, I've kind of trained myself to mature my taste and elevate my style. So go for classic silhouettes, minimalistic styles, you know, neutral color palettes. And you might also agree that as you've gotten older, maybe your tastes have matured, maybe you're less into the cartoony stuff that you were when you were little, and maybe you have evolved. But I find for myself, there is a part of me that has like evolved and developed an appreciation for more classic, timeless, low-key pieces, but I still have that part of me as well that loves really fun, childlike, quirky styles as well. And I find that I actually had a comment from one of you guys the other day. Thank you so much. That it's interesting that I have so many like mature Hermes bags, but then I think they think that the Loewe bags give a fun mix to my collection because they're kind of conflicting styles in a way, because a lot of my Loewe bags are like cartoony. And I find for myself with my style, I kind of fluctuate between being kind of classic, but then also having a more childlike sense of humor to my fashion. Everyone's perception of what looks good and what doesn't is different, and what you might find ugly might differ as well from person to person. I have had comments on my videos saying like my Loewe bags are not your cup of tea because they have cartoons and, you know, that's very immature or whatever, and maybe you find that ugly. And then I have had comments on my videos saying that I have old grandma bags and my Kellys are very boring. So you can't really win. And yeah, I mean, when I look back at bags that I've had that I personally think were a bit ugly, I don't necessarily think everyone will find these ugly, but I wanted to share 5 bags that I've owned today. And obviously, guys, if you own these bags, I did think they were cool. That's why I bought them. But now looking back, I think probably the combination was a little bit questionable. The first bag I wanted to talk about was called the denim pouchy bag. It's from, I believe, the 2008 denim collection. I know there was 2 drops of the denim collection. There was like just plain denim with like the pink and the khaki and the blue denim, and then there was this like other denim collection that was like patchwork. And I don't know if you guys have seen, back in the day Beyonce had a bag which was like all these bags stuck in one. Pretty sure that was from the patchwork collection. So I had this pouchy, it was called the denim pouchy bag from the patchwork collection. To me, looking at this, it is kind of ugly. I mean, the shape of it, it's like this like lopsided, it's not lopsided, it's like this floppy crescent moon shape with all these like offcuts of denim frayed together, All the denim is different kind of tones as well. I bought this bag on eBay a few years ago and I think it added a really cool edgy twist to my outfits. It was very casual. But the thing that makes this ugly, I think, is like just the combination of them all being sewn together with these like frayed edges. The little koala lock, I think it's called, is a little bit dated. You've got that random D ring on the front. The bag kind of slouches in an unappealing way. I mean, to be honest, I would still totally wear this bag, but some of you may think this is a little bit of an ugly bag, and on face value, if I was looking at this through the lens of like my 5-year-old self, I would agree this is kind of an ugly bag, and I'd probably prefer to have like, I don't know, like a fluffy pink Telfar or something, or a Hello Kitty bag. I feel like maybe if you're a little bit more edgy and like that kind of like country style of fashion, I don't know, it gives like a Western look as well to me. I don't think that this bag is necessarily everyone's cup of tea, and you might also find it kind of ugly. I also used to have a Gucci Dionysus, which I never showed on my channel because I had this before I had a YouTube. I think the combination of the beading with the python, the brown Gucci monogram, and the elephants is a little bit much. Like, looking at it, honestly, if I was looking at this through the eyes of my young self, I would probably like the little elephants in the design, but the brown Gucci monogram, is it classic or is it ugly? I don't know. It depends on your opinion, because I know I've heard people say that they think the Louis Vuitton monogram is ugly. I don't think it's ugly. I mean, I quite like the little flowers throughout it. I think that makes it a little bit more pretty, but the Gucci, yeah, I mean, I think if I saw like a plain Gucci bag when I was like 5, I wouldn't think that was like a cute bag. I would think that's just like a grown-up bag. But I mean, the thing is, it's like the combination of the snake with the brown and then the elephants. It's a lot. There's a lot happening with this bag. The color scheme is a bit yucky as well, and I found this very hard to style. I hardly wore it. I got it for a really good deal, which is why I initially purchased it, and I thought it would be cool to get like something with a little bit of an exotic on it. But honestly, python in general, I find isn't always my favorite choice. I don't know. I just think it's a bit like something about it. So I don't know. Let me know, guys. Do you think this bag is ugly? Because it's probably one of my most ugliest bags that I've had. For some reason, a few years ago, I bought, this wasn't actually that long ago, but I bought this Chanel wallet on chain. I got it for a really good deal again, and a lot of you, I'm sure, will agree this is kind of ugly. It's a square wallet on chain, and it has it's very nautical theme. So it has, you know, the red, the blue, and the white, and then the massive CC on the front with this random tassel. I don't know, maybe also because it has that kind of patchwork-esque vibe to it. Sometimes patchwork makes things a little bit ugly, I find. I think it's also the contrasting colors are very like stand out. This was very hard to style, like really hard to style. Like you'd have to wear a very plain outfit to make this look good, like plain white, plain blue, plain white. Like there's just a lot of colors happening, and I find that sometimes it's easier to style outfits if you just stick to like 1 or 2 colors, but this in itself was just a lot happening, and I wouldn't say that it's really cute either. Like it's just very random, like this nautical style tassel wallet on chain. Yeah, I don't know. This is like not the best Chanel bag I've had. So not that long ago, guys, I've had the Speedy HL in multicolor a few times, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree this is not an ugly bag. It's a very cute bag. But once I bought it in not the best condition, I bought it with this like bleeding on the sides. It was a really good deal, but I know a lot of you guys who collect Louis Vuitton would know that some of the multicolor pieces discolor because the lining actually leaches onto the white surface of the bag, and you start seeing this like red blotchiness happening. And with this particular Speedy, I feel like it was kind of ugly with this discoloration. It made it look a lot cheaper than what it was. Like it honestly looks like trash now looking at it. I mean, the multicolor in general is not going to be everyone's cup of tea either. I'm sure there are people out there that would say it's ugly as well. It's a little bit much, all these colors all together. I think the multicolor is very cute, but I would say when it gets the blotchiness to it, it looks a little bit ugly. And I would also argue that when Vachetta leather gets in this really dingy, disgusting condition, it also makes the bag really ugly. Like if you look at some of the multicolored pieces with the really discolored handles, it just kind of ruins the whole cutesiness of the bag. So I think this one in particular, because of the condition, was a little bit of an ugly bag, and I ended up returning it. I have a bag at the moment which I feel like a lot of you guys will find ugly. I think it's quite cute and hilarious, and sometimes when something is ugly, it actually makes it kind of cool. For example, like the Chanel dad sandals are ugly, but they are so ugly that it's cool. And I find that, like, okay, my Loewe dice pocket with the hen dog on it, honestly, the dog is not a very cute dog. It is like a little, I don't know, he looks drunk in a way, he's tired, he's grumpy, and he has these like little chicken legs. I find that like this picture, some may argue, is very ugly, and it's also a little bit immature, so it's like not something you should buy if you're like older, like a 31-year-old lady like me. But I find it really cool, even though I would agree, it is a little bit ugly. Even this like very blue, like it's a very blue shade. It's also, a lot of people would find this a little bit like, oh, it's a bit intense. And then to top it off, it has contrasting yellow on the inside. So it's a very like, there's a lot happening. Honestly, I think if I was looking at this bag through the lens of my young self, I would love it. I think it's very like fun and the color is pretty, and I would be like, oh, that's a cute little dog, even though he looks very drunk and sleepy. That this bag is definitely not everyone's cup of tea, but I quite like it, and I'm happy to have some ugly bags in my collection. And I'm sure there is many other bags in my collection which some of you guys will find ugly or will say is ugly. But to me, looking back, I feel like they are some bags I've had that I would say are kind of ugly. Are they bad bags? No, I mean, I bought them, so I thought they were kind of cool, but yeah. Have you guys ever bought bags that are kind of ugly, but you just like them anyway? Let me know. Thanks for listening to my blabby video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you on my next one. Bye!